Hello, everybody. Of course, welcome back to another episode of X Talking Ish with your boy X.
And Ish.
You already know what to do. If you are on Facebook, please make sure you like and share this broadcast. If you are on our Facebook page, please make sure you go ahead and like of course, our Facebook page out there. And again, if you are on YouTube, please make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Make sure you hit that notification bell for shows like this in the future.
Ding.
Thank you for that, sir. And again, if
Yes,
you are
sir.
on Twitter and you checking us out on Periscope, go ahead and follow us at X Talking Ish. And I've already went ahead and retweeted it on my personal page at X_Williams81. All right, and we know why. Of course, y'all are here. Y'all are here to check out the Monday Night Football halftime show for this week of Monday Night Football. Let's be real. It's not a sexy showing of Monday Night Football with a 3-win team and a 4-win team, but surprisingly, both these teams, unfortunately, still have an opportunity to make it into the NFC playoffs. So this game is actually kind of important to both teams. And surprisingly ish, they're both playing like none of these teams want the playoff spot. So it's hard for us to really watch this game because it's so not even sloppy like the game we watched on Sunday. It's just not that great of football because you can just tell that both of these teams are coming in. They're hurting. It looks like they're just pretty much ready to get into the off season and ready to start 2022 very fresh because Russell, he's missing basic throws, and Taylor on the other side, he looks good. He's playing very well on the offense side of the ball, making sure that they run the ball, making sure that they have these long drives that they've been able to have over the last couple of weeks. But in reality, let's be real. If the Washington football team make it to the playoffs, do we really see them as a threat? Not really. Are we really going to expect the Seattle Seahawks to go 7 straight? No, not really. But we're going to get into this game real quick. We're going to talk a little bit about this and what we've seen in the first half. Ish, please give me your thoughts.
I mean, to be honest, it's nothing special. Beside that blocked extra point, I mean, I haven't really been impressed by too much that I've seen. It's pretty much been a mediocre game by two mediocre teams. I mean, Russell Wilson's performing. He's performing fairly adequate. 8 for 11, 145 yards and one touchdown. So that's pretty good. Tyler Lockett with that big
That
catch
big
early
play.
on. And then you got Taylor Henneke, who is kind of just being Taylor Henneke. He's just kind of a steady guy. I mean, 16 for 21, 120 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Nothing spectacular, nothing horrible, just more mediocre play. Like you said, if they get into the playoffs, you're not really expecting them to do anything. I mean, they could potentially shock people because one of the one of the problems with this Washington team is sometimes they play defense. Sometimes they do actually come out and play defense, and then a lot of times they don't. Tonight they actually are playing defense again, and then really, let's be honest. If it weren't for that blocked extra point, they would be leading going into half. That
And they
blocked
would
extra
they would
point
have all the
was
momentum going into the half, and this game would probably look a little different going into the second half. But like you said, it's with that block extra point and it going from 10-7 and the 2 point swing. Now it's a tied ball game going to halftime. I think that more than anything favors the Seattle Seahawks because now they feel like, hey, we still have life. We were able
yeah.
to we're able to now use all three phases of the game, and it's keeping us in the game at the moment. And this game really was a toss up going into the game, and it still is a toss up going into the second half. So it really is honestly it's anybody's game to win. It's just who wants it more.
Yeah, I mean, it really is just who wants it more, who's going to come out and take the second half back and take control of the second half and set the tone early on. That's really what the situation is here, and I'm looking for something not so much for Seattle because I don't think Seattle, while they mathematically are still in the race, I don't see them at all having a shot. But with Washington being in the NFC East and with the slide we've seen from the Cowboys of late, and even the Eagles deciding to completely dropped the ball yesterday.
Yeah.
Um, Washington, unfortunately, it looked like your pick was crazy as the season went on, but now it's actually could be a possibility of Washington somehow coming back and winning the NFC.
And it's funny you say that because really, Ish, we'll talk more about that tomorrow on our Week 12 recap show here on X Talking Ish. Because that is something. If you do look at the Washington football team's schedule, their last 5 weeks of their schedule is against divisional opponents.
Exactly. I
So
mean, it's
they
totally
have an
possible.
opportunity to control their own destiny, but it comes down to the Washington football team, right? So it's beginning of the season. It was Cowboys, Cowboys, Cowboys. Now we talked about this. It's two parts of the season. This is the second half where it actually matters, and it's about who's playing the best football at the right time. And if the Washington football team is able to run it back like they did last season, where they were able to get things going at the right time, maybe they could find a way to sneak and win that division. I still think it's the Cowboys to lose, but
I mean, they're losing it right
they
now.
they
They're
are,
currently
but
losing
it's still a long season. The Cowboys should take care of business, and we shall see. But at the moment, other than the quarterbacks, the running game, I feel like on both sides of the ball, let's be real, on Seattle, they can improve a little bit more. But you have McKissick on Washington football side, of course, taking care of things, and I just like more than anything. Like I said, with that offense side of the ball, Washington football team, I like the way that they've been able to set up their drives, not just in this game, but in previous games, to where it allows you to dictate the offense. It allows you to run the ball. It allows you to keep your defense fresh. It allows you to keep the offense on the other side of the ball on the bench. They did that with Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, and they won that game. And if you're able to do that with Russell Wilson, it allows you to have a better opportunity to win the game. At the moment, Russell Wilson is only throwing the ball 11 times in the first half. Usually, Russell is throwing at least 15 or 20 times in a half, right? So these are good numbers if you are on the Washington football side when it comes to keeping Russell Wilson in check. So you're doing the right things. It's just you have to finish and complete everything that's going on, because at the moment Seattle has hit all three phases and you only hit two of
Well,
course, what we look for in an NFL game.
well, I like the point you made, because yeah, if you look at the time of possession right now, Washington has a time of possession of 21 minutes and 39 seconds to Seattle's 8 minutes and 21 seconds. So
Yep,
when
yep,
you
yep.
really look at this time of possession, like Washington is really dominating the ball at the moment. They are setting the pace of the game, and it's like, at what point do you start to execute and capitalize on that time of possession? Because you're keeping these guys off the field. You're just not able to fully capitalize on that time of possession and put the points in. Like, the execution at some point has to come through for them to win this game. Because, like you said, they're setting everything up. They're, really putting themselves in the driver's seat, and for it to be a 9-9 game, that is very disappointing from a Washington standpoint. And for Seattle, you got to be happy that you're in this game at this
Yeah,
point. You
wow,
got to be
now.
thinking to yourself, like, hey, we still got a shot. We can actually do this. So it'll be interesting to see if Washington is able to clean it up and actually capitalize on this time of possession advantage, or if Seattle, they let them stick around too long, and Seattle, ends up flipping the switch, and Russell Wilson and this offense all of a sudden finds their steam.
One thing I will say before we get up out of here, because the second half is about to start, if you are looking in the second half and you're looking for something that can change this game, watch out for Joey Slide, the kicker for the Washington football team. He did get it
Oh yeah,
hurt
that
on
injury.
that return for that block punt. I mean, block for extra point. He did end up having a hamstring injury. So if this is a close game and we do have to kick field goals to either win or tie or whatever it is when it comes to keeping this game
Not looking
close,
good for Washington.
so that is something to look out for. So it'd be interesting how this game ends. I honestly, I know this is an ugly game, but I think we're going to be in for a treat at the end when it comes to how this game ends. It's going to be something
It's
like
gonna be
of
ugly.
course, anytime Seattle is in a Monday Night Football game where something crazy happens at the end, let's just expect the unexpected with them, right? I'm just saying this. All right. We are, of course, about to get up out of here for tonight, but please go ahead and join us tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, where we will recap Week 12 in the NFL. And we'll have a lot more to talk about and see who are contenders and who are pretenders in the NFL. It's going to be a good one. Hopefully, y'all can join us tomorrow on X Talking Ish. See y'all